right. I am ready whenever you are, my friend.
Okay, I'm ready.
Woo. All right, should we just record?
Yeah, we can do that.
The dark today.
I turn the light takes a while to turn on for some reason, but it's like appropriate for this episode.
All right, let's just get into it. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Rose.
Um, uh, I'm just really excited to talk about this episode with you.
Like so
Today we're
excited
gonna.
you can't form words. Like your ability to form words is
A
gone.
lot happened this time. Today we're gonna talk about of course, chapter 20, Tales from the Dark Side.
Wait, that's funny that you said that though. Like, did a lot happen? Because I feel like it didn't.
You don't think a lot happened?
I think
Like,
I think we learned how hot Sheriff Keller is. That's like the biggest thing.
no, that thing with the serpent tamer
The
to become a
snake
drug
charmer.
runner or whatever.
You're trying to find snake charmer as your word. No, because I feel like Jughead has started down a criminal path. Like maybe I think the biggest thing that's happened is that clearly the writers listen to our podcast and clearly they're going to do Cheryl and Josie as a thing.
But they're not okay. Well, we'll get to talk about Cheryl and Josie. I had a lot of feelings. A lot of feelings happened during that time. But we can get to that. So, but did you like the episode overall?
Yeah, sure.
Like their three little triptych thing. How did you feel about that?
I don't mind a break in the format. I like that different events were happening and it wasn't like the same event from three different perspectives.
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah,
make
yeah,
sense?
yeah. Yes, I do. They overlapped, but it wasn't the same thing three times. Yeah. Okay, let's just get into it. So yeah, that's the first thing that it starts out with this like weird card thing where they're like, these are three stories from the dark side of Riverdale. Which reminded me a lot of American Horror Story.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit like that. I do think that it was an odd choice to make what I would say arguably the most serious of the stories the first story. Because I feel like Jughead's delving into this drug running. The other thing was, I don't know, I didn't like how easily Jughead was deceived. Maybe. That's my other
Yeah,
problem.
yeah. That's a good point. He's a detective. He's a member of the number one ladies detective agency. He is fucking Precious Bromotsway. So he should have been a little more leery. Okay, so there's these three triptychs, and the first one is Jughead and Archie. The second one is Cheryl and Josie, and then the third one is Betty and Veronica. Geez, you're right.
I see. But it is funny how in each of those, there's like I would argue it's told from one person's perspective. So like with Jughead's, I mean Jughead and Archie is Jughead because we're
Yeah,
following Jughead most of it. With Josie and Cheryl, we're really following Josie to be
yeah,
honest. And with even with the Betty Veronica, it's mostly Betty. We should
yes,
say
yes,
it's yeah.
yes. There's like a person, and then they're like sidekick person. Jughead. Okay, this before we get into Jughead and the Snake Charmer, uh, it opens with him and Betty in bed. A big question on the Twitters this week: were they sleeping together, or were they just sleeping together? What is your opinion
Well, they
on
look
this?
like they woke up together.
Yes, but do you think that they woke up together after having sexual intercourse or any kind of sexual contact? Or do you think that they just like were cuddling and then now they're sleeping together, like sleeping?
Well, I don't know. I feel like we had a big, intensive debate about whether or not Arya and Ezra had banged in the last round of our podcast. What I'm going to take away is that they banged, right?
So you think they did? A lot of people, this is the debate. A lot of people think that they did. Some people think that they didn't, because if they were going to, they would have shown it. They would have like had that moment where they started. I'm gonna go with they've done a lot, but not penetration. That's what I'm gonna go with.
I
I'm gonna
think
get real specific on that.
people, including us, have too much time on our hands if that's what we're thinking about.
Listen, I'm not. It's more that I'm trying to drown out the horrible sound, the crumbling of democracy. So it's really a distraction from the 3 hours of my day when I'm just screaming into a pillow about the state of our nation.
Do you think
A couple minutes.
did you love the Archie's fantasy of the four of them living in New York?
It was cute. So so Jughead is in bed with Betty, whatever they did the night before, and then he gets a call from the snake charmer. What's her name again?
Penny.
Penny.
Penny Peabody, I believe.
With Penny Pingleton from Hairspray. And Penny says his dad was in a fight and the ghoulies were beating him up and he's in the infirmary.
No, in
And
the showers. They say in the showers. So he got naked assaulted.
well, she does insinuate that his father was raped in jail. That's very upsetting.
Yeah.
And he is, of course, very upset. And she's like, well, he's going to need a better lawyer, or he's going to need medical. What did he want the money for? I don't even know. It doesn't matter.
What did who want the money for? Sorry.
Well, because she basically was like, he's hurt. And then Jughead's like, I have to get him out of there, but I don't have any money. And she's like, well, if you do a job for me, then I'll cut you in on it. Like, that's how she gets him.
Well, I think it was like that she'll try to get him out of jail earlier now.
Right.
So that he won't be attacked. Yeah.
Right. And this is how Jughead's gonna like earn it. So she says Jughead has to pick up a box from a certain address and bring it to the next town over, basically, in the middle of the night before midnight. Midnight is the deadline, and Jughead, of course, wants to know what's in the box, and the answer is pancake mix. Why did they choose pancake mix?
Because it sounds very innocuous, very Archie comics, I guess.
I guess. It was just like I mean, obviously that's not what's in the box, but it was weird of her to say, what is in the box?
Oh, Jingle box. Jangle.
You think that's Jingle? That's a huge box.
Well, Jingle Jangle's really taken off.
Guys, just a giant square box of something. And of course he needs a ride to transport this box. So his good buddy Archie says he'll help.
With his dad's truck.
Mm-hmm. And he's in it. He's like, Jug, I'm in it to the end. Like, I'm in it with you. Do you feel like Archie should have helped him with that or not? I mean, I guess they're friends.
I don't know. I think Archie's going to help people. That's kind of Archie's deal.
Yeah, that's true. So they are transporting this to the neighboring town. Hold on, why is this now like loud? And they get a flat tire, like straight away.
It's funny that you're so excited to talk about this episode when, like, legitimately, this might be one of the hardest episodes we've ever had to try to talk about.
Well, then we don't even have to get into the details of it. So whatever, they get a flat tire on the way over there. So then Jughead has to put his box in the back of this creepy dude's car.
First of all, that is Tony Todd. who that is the man who played the man who picked them up. Tony, one of the reasons Tony Todd is a famous genre actor he's in a lot of like you know, guest appearances on like sci-fi channel things and everything, but he's probably the most famous for playing the Candyman in the 90s. So they legit got somebody from like a 90s horror
Oh,
movie
that's so
to be the
cool.
driver of Jughead. So he has a very low, like, scary voice, which he really uses to effect in this one.
Yeah, because he picks him up and then immediately they go to get gas and he has a weird tarp in the back of his thing and he's like, "Don't look at the tarp, boy." And of course Jughead does. It's just a dead deer. But then the guy's like, "I need to eat. We're gonna sit down and eat." And then they eat. And then he's like, "You have to pay." I agree that Jughead usually is kind of like a savvy kid. Like he's not he's not hard. He's not violent, but he's not an idiot either. Like you would think at some point before all this he would get
Well,
off the weirdo train.
they came up with a really good idea, which was to call Kevin and have Kevin come and get the truck there. But I guess they're concerned about it being like midnight or something. I mean, the big takeaway is that he tells this whole story about the Riverdale Reaper and gives
Yes.
Jughead like a ghost story in the car
Hmm.
where he says it reminds me of this other killer in Riverdale, which is we're supposed to believe that Riverdale has always been this nice, wholesome place. So now there's like past instances of serial killers. It's like, what is
What
happening?
was the Riverdale Reaper's deal? Who was he killing? Oh, he killed a
I,
whole family. He killed a whole family. It
yeah.
was kind of like a in cold blood situation. Where he just went in and murdered a whole family and then like disappeared. So he wasn't really a serial killer. He was just sort of, I mean, he killed a lot of people, a murderer. Um,
Oh,
and
I forgot that part when Archie sees the bloody deer too. Like, was it like a ghost deer? I was confused
no, it was
about
a
why
real
Archie sees the
deer. The
deer.
guy had a deer in the Jughead uncovered the deer in the back of the truck.
Well, remember Archie when once he gets his car repaired, he sees the deer like walk
Oh, on
across
the
the street.
road?
Yeah, and it's like a bloody deer.
Oh my
Do you
God,
remember
maybe
that?
it was a ghost deer. No, I didn't remember that. That sounds like a ghost deer to me. Um, Well, I don't know. I'm at that part now. Let me look at it. Let me look at the go. Yeah, he's seeing something. He sees a little deer
Because it
walking.
looks like it almost looks like it's the dead deer that Jughead finds
Yeah,
like
it does.
later. It's like the spirit of the deer.
Fuck.
I don't know what's going on. Like
It
I
breathes.
think they're getting ready for Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Let's be real.
Well, Sabrina the Teenage Witch has been announced has been picked up by Netflix.
Okay.
It's gonna be on Netflix. So it's unknown whether they're gonna be doing crossovers with the CW show. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how that's actually gonna work out, but up and there definitely is this weird supernatural element. I'm also going to say, not on a supernatural tip, but intriguing nonetheless, is that Jughead is wearing suspenders that are hanging down from his pants. And I
Hmm.
think it's cute.
It
I
is
thought it was
cute.
cute.
They do make a big deal
Yeah,
of showing you his serpent tattoo and then his serpent jacket just to remind you he's in a gang now.
he's in a total gang. He's got a tattoo, and Betty loves it. She's probably so into that tattoo. He's a cute kid. I have to say I like how they I don't know. He's just I like Jughead. I still like him. He's in sliding down a criminal path, but he's a likable guy. What
He's
is this guy?
he's so into this Reaper story. He like
Yeah.
loves it.
What is this guy who's telling the Reaper story eating?
I don't know. He used a lot of ketchup. I'm trying to
He's
see it now.
he's eating like a rare hamburger, and he just like squirts a shit ton of ketchup. I don't know what's going on with this guy, but it's gross. The food he's eating. He's good. I mean, I didn't. This guy definitely looked familiar. I'm not a huge horror fan.
He also played the Undertaker in Final Destination. If you ever saw Final
The
Destination,
original Final Destination.
he was the
I saw it once.
mortician who like represented death. So
I saw it once. I don't know him, but I liked him. He was good. He was really good. He brought a gravitas to the situation. So, do you think this Riverdale Reaper really has anything to do with what's going on now, or is just some story red
I
herring?
think maybe if Hiram Lodge is behind this whole thing, maybe this is where he got inspired by the idea. It was like some past instance where I don't know.
Was watching like Unsolved Mysteries about the Riverdale Reaper, and he was like, "Got it." He was listening to My Favorite Murder,
Yeah.
and they were covering the Riverdale Reaper, and he's like, "Perfect." Um, okay, so Jughead and the creepy dude finish up their meal. Jughead just had water, and the waitress brings the check, and the guy is like, he's gonna pay, and Jughead's like, I don't have any money. And the guy's like, well, too fucking bad, and he's about to walk out. That was a weird trick to play on Jughead. And then he's like, and I'm gonna take your box of drugs or whatever. Like, what the fuck is this guy up to?
I'm trying to figure out the story behind the people that they bring the drugs to. Like
Well,
that
they are a
is
whole nother. All right, so
I'm sorry, but I'm distracted by the beret of the old woman and how her manservant with the gun is wearing aviator glasses
I feel like
and
he's her son. I assumed he was her son. It was a family business. Jughead brings this thing to like a warehouse somewhere in Greendale, sets the crate down. He's late, and she just materializes out of the shadow wearing a beret. They are just kind of military. They're just
she's
kind of
he's in a wheelchair. They look like their outfits and potentially their accents were inspired by East Germany. Do you not
yeah,
know?
they're definitely like in some sort of weird communist sort of outfit situation, and the guy is wearing like a military, like, what, I don't know what's going on there, but we're gonna see them again, I guess, because Jughead's now their regular delivery boy, and he's upset, and
What
Archie's like, shit.
is this to establish that like now Jughead is like a sinner? He like has to sin where like the Black Hood it wants to pay. Why is the Black Hood so religious? I guess is my other issue.
That's a really good question. That's a really good question. You don't see anybody in Riverdale like heading to church that much. About the Black Hood, that's at the end. Observation. I will say I did enjoy the part Archie comes in, the pickup truck dude is about to dump Jughead and steal his box. He saves the day with card. He's like, "Do you take debit?" It just was really Archie. It was like so on brand for his little. Just was so cute and funny, and something that Archie would do. No problem. How'd they get the box back though? Why wouldn't the guy just peel it out with the box?
I don't know. That
Take the box
character is
back.
so like all adult characters in Riverdale. Well, that guy is just so unnecessarily creepy for no reason.
Accurate.
Were you surprised
Um,
that when Jughead goes the next day to see his father, that his father was not hurt?
no, his father was just fine, and Jughead was shocked. Like, why didn't he just call his dad, or why didn't he like? I mean, I guess you can't just call people up in jail, but he could have gone over to see him.
Yeah.
ask somebody, maybe, you know, like he could ask Sheriff Keller or something. I do like that they're in the diner, and we're going to come back to the diner in this pre-dawn moment again later. I really enjoyed that. But his dad's just fine and dandy. That snake charmer fucked him over. And he goes and yells at her about it, and she's like, FP owes me. What does FP owe her for, do you think?
No, we don't know. I don't know. She said he made a promise that he didn't keep. I don't know
I
what
have a
that
theory.
was.
Do you
What?
want to hear my theory?
Yeah.
I think that maybe he's Jughead's mom.
That she's Jughead's mom?
Maybe?
No, I don't think so.
No, she's not Jughead's mom.
No, I don't know what it was. I have no idea. Something which she's apparently pretty upset about it though.
Why couldn't she be Jughead's mom? She could be Jughead's mom.
Well, Jughead's mom is with
Mom,
his.
who he thinks is his mom, doesn't want him.
Well, this Jelly Bean,
Sure.
right, is his sister. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's not Jughead's mom.
You don't like my theory.
No, it's not that I don't like it. It's just that I don't think it's true.
You're not a fan
But
of my theory.
you could definitely tell that Penny was Livewire from Supergirl in this one.
100%, because she started to shoot electricity. So
yes,
that was
her hair turned white as she started wah-ha-hing at Jughead. I mean,
so wait, and then so Jughead
talking about Jughead when I know what you want to talk about. I know you want to talk about Josie and Cheryl so bad.
Well, so much. Okay, all right. I guess that's what I mean when I say so much happened. Is that like both my theory of them having a thing or some kind of deeper connection between them was proven, and then simultaneously, like the floor dropped out from under it. And the
okay, so that's not what happened. What is happening is that one of these girls that you want clearly has some sort of psychotic crush on the other one that is going to probably result in murder, because we're talking
that's what I'm saying. No, I was right in that there I have said on this podcast, on air, known to many dozens of people, that I did not know what the feelings were between them, but there was something going on between them beyond just friendship, right?
There's something going on, but there's something going on between one of them. Okay.
I didn't say it was mutual. I didn't say it was healthy. I just said there was a thing there, and I was accurate on that. But obviously, so what I'm saying is, okay, let's just start at the beginning. It
can't be between one of them. It's with one of them who has mental problems.
No, there's a situation with them that's deeper than friendship. Are you saying there's not a situation? There's a situation there. Something was there.
Like, if you try to date somebody else, I'm going to ruin their lives on purpose.
Okay, all right. Let's back it up, and then we'll get to the culminating moment. So Josie.
It's actually not called Josie and Cheryl. The chapter is just called Josie. Did you see that?
Well, yes, I did. And the first one I think was just called Jughead.
No, it was Archie and Jughead. That's how they built the first.
Josie deserves a chapter all to herself. Josie she's practicing her music. What are you doing?
Blowing my nose.
Oh God, it sounded like you were like moving a couch.
Yeah, that's what blowing my nose sounds like, Rose.
I think you're just this.
Okay, so Josie's working on a new song.
I like her song. It's kind of like got this cool keyboard vibe to it. I enjoyed her music. Why she has to work on this song late at night at school, I don't know. Why?
Okay, there's so many reasons why. First of all, her home life is stressful because of her mom. Second, she can't let the Pussycats know about this because she's doing it without them.
That's true. Third, her mother moved them into the 5 Seasons Hotel because she's scared of these threats that she's been receiving.
That's not why. That's not why. There's a reason why she lives in a motel.
No, but they don't live in a motel. They live in the nice hotel. The motel was just where she went for the fucking, which we get to later. They live in the fancy hotel, like where Nikki St. Clair stayed, which,
Oh,
as I
wow.
said on Twitter, is called the 5 seasons. And that's why the seasons in Riverdale seem so messed up to us, people who only have 4 seasons, because Riverdale has 5 seasons. That's what I've decided.
Did
That's why
you
their
see that
hotel is called
the tow truck was called Triple C? I like that too.
that. Josie has been hanging out late at school, and the janitor, Svensson, is there sort of, he's covering for her. He knows she's there. But to us, the audience, he seems super creepy because he keeps creeping up behind her in the night. Her mom gets on her and is like, please do not stay alone at school late at night. You may be in danger. That's not okay. And Josie's like, my mom's really cramping my style. And she vents to her very good and beautiful friend, Cheryl Blossom.
Her number one fan?
Oh my God. Cheryl, there should be a remake of The Bodyguard with Josie as the Whitney character, Cheryl as the creepy person who sends the scary notes, and I don't know who should we put in the Kevin Costner role. I guess Chuck.
Obviously, Valerie from the Pussycat.
Valerie is awesome. Valerie may be my favorite Pussycat, but I do like Melody as well.
You don't like Josie?
I like Josie. I think Josie needs to just stop hanging out in dark rooms alone, though. Cheryl wants Josie to keep on with the music. Cheryl is like, but I want to repay you for saving me from Nikki, and I want you to meet with this guy, this recording artist guy, and he only wants you. He doesn't want the Pussycats, and you have to do this song, and you can't tell them. And she's just like manipulating Josie a lot. It's really scary, honestly, the levels to which it happens. But I think they did a good job of showing it, like both sides, like showing how it seems normal to Josie and how she really believes that Cheryl is being a good friend. And then also showing enough for us to understand that it was not normal. She was isolating her and manipulating her.
Cheryl looks really, and when they're in bio together as lab partners, Cheryl looks really pretty in that scene.
There's no, if there's like a person in this Riverdale high school who's just a background lesbian, they are getting no work done. It's going to be very difficult for lesbians to pass their classes with all these lovely ladies just swanning around and plotting things while you're trying to do a lab report. Poor Cheryl, though. What are your thoughts on Cheryl right now at this point? Because basically she manipulates Josie.
Poor Cheryl. Poor Cheryl. How dare you?
Feel bad for her.
You feel bad for her?
Yes.
You know, she puts on, remember that one time she got to be a pussycat? She likes to put on the ears at night and only wear the ears and pleasure herself while thinking about Josie.
Oh my God. All right. So Cheryl is manipulating Josie into, basically, she causes a rift between her and the Pussycats, who look amazing in this episode, by the way. They just show up like gangbusters while Josie's in the shower. I don't know why Josie's taking showers at school. There's no reason for it. They weren't in gym class or anything. And
she was having a eucalyptus steam, Rose.
That's right. I'm sorry for her voice. The Pussycats
No,
know.
come on. Didn't you have a nice eucalyptus steam room in your high school? I mean, clearly.
Yeah, we always hung out there after our, vocal competitions. So the Pussycats are mad. Somebody has anonymously tipped them off that Josie's been recording music by herself. Chuck wants to hang with Josie, and he gets there a little bit. They're having a really nice time. Things are going okay until her mom finds out, and then that's off the table.
Well, Chuck does look like he's cleaning up his act in this one.
Yeah, he's going to church. Pop saw him at church. Again, the religiousness coming in. No, and he and Josie look like they're having a really nice time. And he's trying to draw comics. In the comic books, Chuck Clayton is actually a really nice guy.
Yeah.
He is really friendly, and he is a comic book drawer in the comic books. and he's really like sort of just a nice, friendly, talented, easygoing person. So it's made him a terrible sexual predator, and then we're like, okay, but no, now we're gonna go with the nice guy. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of weird that they didn't make that two separate. Okay. So yeah, it's going all good for them over milkshakes. It's kind of cute. They have like a moment of like Riverdale, but it does not last. I can't believe they actually do the twist.
They look cute doing it. It is weird though. Josie looks so young in this episode. Like so
She's very slight.
Yeah.
And so she looks much smaller than anybody she stands next to. But so her mom and Sheriff Keller bust up in the diner, and they're really mad because they couldn't find Josie. And you're like, wow, Robin Givens and Sheriff Keller hang out all the time. This is just a reminder that they're always hanging out. They do bust up everywhere together all the time. The next day, Cheryl is like, I can't believe you were hanging out with Chuck. And then stuff gets creepier from there. Do you want to talk about it, Ryan?
Well, I'm catching up right now because I'm on a commercial break.
Me too.
I know that the locker thing happens, right? Where she finds a drawing in her locker.
Well, yeah, and then it also Josie says somebody's been leaving her notes, and they're acting like it was like a secret admirer.
Yeah. Well, no, it is.
Earl wonders who could it be. I do feel bad for Cheryl. I feel worse for Josie.
You know who Cheryl suggests it is? The Black Hood. That's her first suggestion. What the hell is she trying to accomplish?
I don't know, man. I'm troubled by her greatly, but I do feel.
Do you know what her fascination and seeming obsession about Josie? Do you know what it's reminding me of? Cheryl's relationship with her brother.
Jen said that. When we watched this, I did say that I felt like, I don't know, I felt bad for her, and it seems so sad. Like she's looking for love, and Jen said she's trying to twin with her. And I think you're right, and I think she was right as well, that it's like she lost this person who was kind of like her only loving connection in the world, and I'm not quite sure good with the boundaries with him either. And now he's gone. And he was already separating from her, right? He and Polly had a thing, and okay, I have a new theory now. Theories are just coming to me with this show. But yeah, Cheryl wants somebody to like cleave to, and it's troubling. So here's my theory. Jason was leaving. Oh, no, but we already know who killed Jason, right?
Yeah, his dad.
Oh. I had a theory that Cheryl killed him.
Maybe.
Oh, we have a video of his dad killing him. That would have been a theory, though. That she was like upset with him for leaving, but that didn't happen that way, I guess. So basically, Josie keeps on getting. I'll just skip to it. Josie keeps on getting these troubling. And they don't know who it is, and basically, Cheryl encourages her to pin it on Chuck. It could be Chuck. Chuck has done troubling things in the past, and now he's obviously interested in Josie. And Chuck says, no, it's not me. But they insist it is, and Chuck is taken away. Gift that Josie got from the secret admirer is a drawing of her, which says, "If I can't have you, nobody will." Pig's heart with a bloody pig's heart in a box. What did you think when you saw that stuff? Like, who did you think it was?
Okay. So the only thing I was spoiled about this episode this week was that I saw the picture of Cheryl drawing Josie at the end of this. And so I already knew it was Cheryl. So I knew that going in.
All right.
Or
well,
I
did
guessed
not.
it. I guessed it.
I did not know it was Cheryl at that point. I just thought, okay, well, she's got, like, it's the hood. It's whoever.
They made a mistake.
What's going on?
They're wearing the same clothes that they wore in Biolab again in the scene where they're in the hallway.
Oh, Cheryl is rubbing Josie's small shoulder. So comforting. It's so upsetting. It's so upsetting. Because Cheryl is being there and trying to comfort her, but at the same time manipulating her. And, like, she's a real creep. And I do worry and feel for Josie kind of barreling toward, I would assume, a realization that the person she considered her best friend and confidant, tormentor, and has been lying to her and has been manipulating her to isolate her from other people. Like, there's no way. I don't see any way that they can have a functional relationship after these revelations come to light. It is a nice drawing of Josie.
Cheryl's a very talented artist.
She's really progressed since that portrait of the Sugar Man.
Yeah, she's really talented at many things, including procuring animal organs. And I mean, I will say this in Cheryl's defense: Josie should have immediately seen that black box with the nice little purple ribbon around it and been like, Cheryl, did you send this to me? Because it is like Cheryl's style.
Well, speaking of Cheryl's style, if they're such good friends and they spend a lot of time together, which they do, those drawings look like?
I don't know. Maybe, like, Cheryl is very, like, doesn't like sharing her art with people. I don't know.
Do you think she doesn't ever show anybody her art? I mean, I just feel like Cheryl Blossom, if she knew how to draw, she would, like, let it be known. Like,
I feel like Cheryl Blossom has a lot of secrets, Rose.
I just was surprised that she didn't know what kind of drawing her best friend did. What?
Cheryl Blossom is a sweet, innocent flower.
Well, then who put that on the thing?
Somebody we don't know yet. It's going to be like Charles.
Sorry, listeners.
But don't
Rose
you
and
think
Jen are talking right now.
Okay, Jen has come in, Jen. Come on. Jen's going to be in. Okay, talk.
Hi, Jen.
Say what you have to say.
No, you said it.
All right. I would be better if you would say it in your voice, otherwise I'm just saying Jen said. Come on. Go ahead, say it.
I think that Cheryl Blossom is a sweet, innocent flower as far as this is concerned. And this is going to be one of those situations, like back with Pretty Little Liars, when something, wait, what the fuck was his name? Charles?
There was somebody named Charles.
Popped on the scene who was a bad guy, and you're like, what?
If they do that, I'm going to be really mad.
I think that's what's going to happen.
But why would somebody so you're saying somebody took her drawing and wrote on it.
Mm-hmm.
But why wouldn't she say, hey, that's my drawing?
It looks pretty incriminating. Would you say anything?
Yeah.
Ooh, I wouldn't. Especially when you know people don't trust you.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm Team Cheryl Blossom.
I do feel bad for her.
You know? She lost her twin. I think she's trying to twin with her.
Yes, I already mentioned that theory.
I think that she has borderline personality disorder. And she has an attachment fixation on Josie because I think she's very possessive of people in her life.
She looks so pretty when she's sitting there listening to Josie's music, drawing pictures of her and Josie's faces so close together.
Mm-hmm.
Giant creep. She looks so pretty. I do feel for her. She needs love, and she has not gotten it, and it has twisted her little weirdo soul, which was probably weird to start with. I don't know. I guess I thought it was straightforward that she's obsessed with Josie. She's the one who's leaving this shit, and she's going to continue to isolate and manipulate Josie. to the point where she's the only one who feels like Josie feels she can count on. And when that's revealed to Josie, everything's going to go to hell. But I don't know. Maybe there's more to it. But so for me, this is where I was picking it up from before. For me, I felt in that moment when they revealed Cheryl drawing the picture in the style that we had already seen, I felt like so vindicated because I did feel I was right. There's something weird between them, something else between them besides a typical friendship. But then at the same moment, I did feel like the rug was pulled out from under me because they couldn't become the beautiful, loving relationship that I wanted it to. It seemed perverted by these like creepy Blossom manipulations and possessiveness. And Josie doesn't seem interested in Cheryl romantically, which is fine. Josie doesn't have to be. So I was sort of upset. There are people who are upset. And then there are people who are like, wait, I don't get it. I don't know. What do you think?
They can still work it out.
I don't know.
Well,
I think actually, well, go ahead.
I was going to say that just because Cheryl is creeping on Josie doesn't mean Josie's ever going to find out about that.
I think you're right. I believe, spoiler alert, but obviously I don't know if it's true, that the idea would be for Cheryl and Tony Topaz to hook it up. I could be into that.
Wait, you said Josie and Tony Topaz or Cheryl and Tony Topaz?
Topaz. Cheryl and Topaz.
Because Cheryl is I feel like Cheryl's the one with unresolved romantic feelings for another woman.
Another woman. Romantic, or maybe weirdly twin, or maybe she had weird romantic feelings for her twin. I don't know. But I kind of like as much as I wanted some different story between them. I do like that it's true that there are intense feelings, although perhaps not reciprocated. And I sort of do like that they're going to do the, like, you have a crush on your straight girlfriend, except it's crazy-ass Riverdale style, where it involves, like, horrible things happening. I kind of like that. Like, I'm like, oh, like, we're there too. Like, I feel represented. Feel represented. It's a sad twist, but like other stories are being treated in Riverdale. Everything's weird there.
So if I was if I was the editor of this episode, I would have started with Betty and Veronica. That's how I feel.
Betty and Veronica was the best one.
It was the best one, so maybe that's why they ended with it.
I think that's why they ended with it.
But at the same time, they end on a really creepy note, and I feel like that's why you would end with the Jughead story. And maybe I would have kept the Josie one in the middle. But what I really love, in particular, is that Betty and Veronica both have decided different things, and that they are going to sleuth because Veronica wants to prove the dad is having an affair, and Betty wants to prove the dad we're talking about Kevin's dad, is a killer.
Yes.
One of them, we should say, one of them is right.
Yes. Well, maybe two of them are right. You don't know. They didn't prove he wasn't a killer. They just did prove he was having an affair.
No, he had he had detailed alibis for where he was at all of the crimes.
Well, wouldn't you if you were the killer? I have a theory about Black Hood, which we will get to. But I do like that it's a sleuth off. One more thing about Josie before we finish, though. Svensson, the janitor, pops up a lot in her story. He seemed like a super creep, and he's like a new character that's like on the scene that could be the Black Hood or might be involved with this. So I just want to put a little highlight on him. Yeah, Betty has decided that Kevin's dad's the Black Hood, and she's like,
I doubt very much that the janitor is the Black Hood.
Well, do you want to hear my theory?
Yes.
My theory is that Kevin's dad, the janitor, the Tallboy, the serpent, and like another guy who's the one I'm thinking of.
You're talking about Sweet Pea?
No, not Sweet Pea, Tallboy, the adult serpent.
Okay.
So Kevin's dad and the janitor and the adult serpent and like other guys, Betty's dad, are in like a cult, and it's all of them doing the Black Hood stuff. So Kevin's dad has an alibi, but that doesn't mean he's not involved with and part of the Black Hood perpetrator like network. I feel like it's a network. It's not one guy. And it's those guys, and it's like a white guy cult.
A white guy cult.
Yeah, like the one again, parallel to American Horror Story. I feel like it's the same idea. The white guy cult perpetrating it. Although the cult in American Horror Story wasn't originally white guy cult.
I think you've just been watching too much American Horror Story.
I don't like that show at all, but I think it's more than one person. I think it was Betty's dad calling Betty on the phone, but I think Sheriff Keller did or allowed somebody to come in and murder the guy in the jail cell. Because Betty's right. Like, for that to happen, somebody was on the inside. But Veronica disagrees. Veronica's theory is that Kevin's dad is just having an affair. Kevin's mom is alive. She's in, where is she? Overseas fighting? She's in the army.
Yeah. That's rough. That's like both of Kevin's parents are like gun wielding career people, right? Like sheriff and army person. Can I would be remiss if I did not talk about my favorite scene in the episode. And it is a very small moment, but I feel like it needs to be highlighted, and it needs to be the moments like this that I love the show. I don't know if Rose knows what it is. It is when we immediately cut to Kevin's bedroom, and he is very intensely describing this nerdy board game to Veronica, and she looks so bored, and he is so proud of his explanation. And then she gets up to like go, do her sleuthing, and that's when Betty calls her. But then Veronica says, do you need anything? And he goes, I'll take a glass of milk. And it's just like, Kevin, that is why I was so concerned that in the episode when it looked like Kevin was going to get murdered, that Kevin got murdered. He just is from this Archie era that no longer exists. He's great.
I think you're right. He is. And I was like, oh, I hope he starts a gay tabletop game. He can have all the nerds over. Because, like, why not? Like, I don't think all those guys who hang out in the woods for hand jobs don't want to play tabletop games. Like, I feel like he can meet a lot of people like this.
This is so sad, but, like, I really hope that, like, he explains his game to Moose, and Moose loves it. And then they, like, love each other. So one of my coworkers is also watching Riverdale, and we don't get a lot of time to talk about it because it's been so busy at work. But I told her, I went, because she is not a listener, and yet should be. And I told her one of your prevailing theories is that it's potentially Betty's brother.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like obsessed with that idea now. She thinks it's like definitely Betty's brother.
Well, it might be. He could be in the cult too.
And I was like, I think it's Betty's dad still.
Yeah. Well, Betty still believes it's Sheriff Keller. Veronica does go down to see Sheriff Keller lifting weights in the basement at night. Would you like to comment on that scene?
I mean, she says Archie Andrews look out, and it's like a scene where somebody would like happen upon Archie Andrews just like lifting weights or whatever. I don't know. It's just, I guess, like, you forget that all of the adults they cast on this are also strikingly attractive. Like, he looks good.
He does. He does.
But he looks good.
It was interesting actually, because where Veronica lifting weights in the basement, she has to cover because he turns around and he sees her there. And say that she flirts with him. Because she doesn't.
I don't think she does.
Say that she doesn't use her coming across him comfort between them. Do you know what I mean? Like, she sort of takes the fact that it could be read like that to use it. I don't know, maneuver on her part.
I feel like
and then she does get her soda.
Yeah, Veronica, I think actively in conversation just seems like she flirts with people. Like that's the way she talks. I don't think she was going out of her way to try to like be flirty in talking with him.
No, I don't. But I do think she chose to comment on his naked torso and compare it to her boyfriend's in order to make Sheriff Keller a little uncomfortable.
I don't think
with him, but just wanted to make him uncomfortable to like to distract him from like why she was sleuthing around his house at night.
When Veronica is in front of a hot man, there's no way she's not going to comment on that hot man because she's Veronica.
Then so Kevin comes down and is like, "What are you guys doing?" And Kevin is a little like weirded out by the whole interaction as well. And the Veronica's like, "Oh, I was just getting a soda." But Kevin has a drink from upstairs, and it's clear that there were drinks upstairs. So like everybody's like, "What is it? What is this?" And Veronica's like, "Oh, it's fine."
Were you worried? Were you worried that this was a Matt Lauer situation?
No, Matt Lauer is super disgusting, and the women that he harassed worked for him. And Veronica does not work for Sheriff Keller. Also, she's underage. It's more of a Roy Moore territory, but not because Sheriff Keller did not actually harass or date or touch any underage girls or people who work for him. So we're solid.
It turns out that Sheriff Keller's satisfied. He's getting all of the givens.
Oh my God. I mean, and she looks great. Good for Keller, honestly. Good for both of them. He looks good. She looks good. They should have sex. Their spouses are.
They work very. They just work very closely together. You know.
They don't. They just must be boning like 24/7 because they're always hanging out, but there's literally no reason for it. Like sheriffs and mayors aren't like the peanut butter and jelly of like municipal employees. Like they don't have to be together all the time. So Betty and Veronica continue to tail them to a motel, and they think that Keller is going to go in there and like murder somebody, but it turns out no, he's just going to go in there and meet up with Robin Givens and Smoogies. So I have to say, I did really like the Betty and Veronica interaction in this little part of the episode. They were really fun together, especially when Betty got all bent out of shape that Veronica was having a sleepover with Kevin without her while they were supposed to be sleuthing.
And then trying to go behind locked doors. She goes, "I don't have a bobby pin, if that's what you were going to ask me." And then later it shows Betty like having a bobby pin opening doors. It's great.
No, it was terrific. I love them. I hope they get a spin-off. And it's just them trolling around the countryside in a mystery machine. They're very cute.
This is their show.
It really is. It really is. Archie is great, and Jughead is cute, and Cheryl and Josie are a train wreck waiting to happen. But Betty and Veronica are the stars. So Betty gets called into the sheriff's office before she finds out who he's fucking. He tells her dad, like, she's sleuthing around after me. This is not okay. And that's where I got the theory that this was a network, because Betty's dad is like, see, no, it's fine. And it could just be that he believes the sheriff. But to me, I was like, maybe there's something connecting Betty's dad and the sheriff. And that's why he wants to be there and tell Betty to believe the sheriff and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, to lead credence to your theory a little bit, is that Robin Givens has accepted a large amount of money from Hermione Lodge last year, which was given to them by Hiram, right? And then it's Hiram and Hermione want to destabilize the town. So
which again is very well. Go ahead.
Now we know the sheriff and the mayor are in bed together, and that obviously
literally in bed. The sheriff looks good in that leather jacket. Again, not into men, but he seems like a handsome and attractive guy. He's going in there. He brings his little bag with him. What the fuck is in his bag? If he's just going over there to fuck her, what the hell does he need that bag for?
she likes toys.
Yikes. I mean, not yikes, but like I don't want to. That's they seem attractive, but I don't want to get into it like that with them.
Oh my god, I almost died when at the diner afterwards. Veronica says it looks like the boys are having an intense bromance. That was sometimes I do enjoy the very, very bizarre way that Veronica speaks, but it's great.
Her witticism. So yeah, Betty and Veronica go to the diner after their late night sleuthing, and they do cross paths with Archie and Jughead, and they also cross paths with Cheryl and Josie, who are there. Josie had this nightmare that like woke her up in the night, and I guess then she and Cheryl decided to go out for like a dawn cup of coffee. Like, how are these people all out in the night like this? Like, why are they like Jughead and Archie? I could believe it, right? Nobody's watching Jughead. Archie's dad is like don't really care what he does. Okay, Betty and Veronica are all out all night just sleuthing around. What the fuck? Why do their parents think they are? And then Josie was like sleeping in her mom's bed, but then I guess her mom went out to fuck Keller. But like, how did she explain her? I don't understand how Josie and Cheryl have explained their absences. But whatever, they're all there. Cheryl's being really comforting, and it's really upsetting to me. It's really upsetting. And then Pops gets a phone call. The Black Hood loves to call people on the phone.
Yeah, he's old school. Just learn how to text, dude.
We've got a lot of good feedback on your Black Hood character from a few episodes ago, Ryan, just so you know. A lot of positive feedback.
Wait, what's my Black Hood character? I feel like it wasn't a Black Hood character. No.
Yeah, you were the Black Hood. No, you were the Black Hood calling people up on the phone.
Oh, I was. I specifically remember my moose. Not my moose.
No, Moose. Reggie. Reggie was also really fun.
It's like, yo, guys, the Black Hood's on the phone. Pick up.
No, you did the Black Hood. We were like, hello, are you watching Project Runway? It was really fun. You remember?
Like a lispy one where it's like, hey, Betty, what's up? How are you?
He just loves to make calls. So he calls Pops. He knows they're all there. I don't understand. And he's like, the reckoning is upon us. What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know. I guess.
Because it was all a test. It was a test to see if there would be sinners, and they were sinners. What did Betty do that she was a sinner? What did Veronica do to be a sinner?
I don't know. She breaking and entering for Betty. Veronica, because she coveted her gay friend's father. Cheryl's obvious. I don't even know the amount of crimes that she committed. Like, did she kill the cow that she cut the heart out of? Josie was clearly in school after school hours. That was her. Some sins are bigger than others, obviously, Rose.
Well, she lied to her friends. She lied to the Pussycats. I was upset to see the Pussycats broken up, honestly. I hope they get back together soon. Pussycats can't stay mad for long, right? Oof.
I'm hoping.
Oof. But so that's what I mean when I feel like a lot happened. Like, Chuck was suddenly rehabilitated, and now Jughead's a drug runner, and the Serpent Lady said his dad owes her something, and Archie has a debit card now, and a lot of revelations. Maybe not a lot of like activity, but a lot of revelations. Cheryl can draw.
That Cheryl can draw. That's your biggest revelation.
Yeah, that's my big. Gonna do holiday portraits of dogs for extra cash.
So there's two more episodes until the mid-season.
So what's on the for next week?
We didn't even say that. We didn't even say it. This is chapter 20, Tales from the Dark Side.
I said that straight at the beginning. Straight up at the beginning, I said that.
Wait. So the next one, chapter 21, is House of the Devil. Yeah, House of the Devil, and then I can't see exactly what it is. Chapter 22 is Silent Night, Deadly something.
Ooh, Christmas episode.
Yeah. So there is a Christmas episode, and apparently one of the plot points in the description is Penelope tells Cheryl they cannot afford Christmas. That's great.
No. I do feel bad for Cheryl. I do. She is a terrible,
crazy,
manipulative.
Bro. She has a mental illness.
Bad for her. She's alone. Crazy. She's alone. Caring for this crazy woman, and she's trying to person, and she has no moral compass because none was like provided to her, and only weird shit has been rewarded in her life, and she's been her father, and her wealth is only a part of the problem. And I mean, like, I'm not her behavior, but she never really had a chance to be a normal dad to me. She's like it seems like she has a heart that was twisted to grow a wrong way before it even got a chance to like know what the right way was, so I feel sad for her. I really do. I do. And I feel like that's like more in the way that she's played by Madeline Petch than with the text that is given. So props to her for her nuanced portrayal of a complete fucking maniac.
As long as that's one of your takeaways.
Yeah.
Nuts.
She's crazy. Was there anything in the scenes from next week that was intriguing to you? I don't remember them myself.
It does look like that Josie and Cheryl are in the locker room and they are possibly not wearing tops. You didn't see that?
No, my DVR did not record it.
Okay. Well, apparently there's some sort of locker room scene, so get excited about that.
Oh my God. What is going to happen with those two? I am intrigued.
So
I hope they don't.
Is our plan for our listeners to do I think we're gonna take the week of Christmas off like we took the week of Thanksgiving off, right? Because
sure, that makes sense.
It's kind of a weekend, but then before the show comes back, are we gonna do season 1 episodes again?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we should just let everybody know.
Yes, okay. But before we do that, was it a Betty episode or a Veronica episode?
I'm gonna give it to Betty for me. I still like. It was hard. Like it was last week. It was very hard to choose. But Betty sleuthing. I like how unapologetic was when Betty got caught, like a teenager, in every turn. Like she breaks into Keller's house and she gets caught, and then it's like, the sheriff and her dad are kind of coming down on her, and she's just like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna keep going." And she does. Yeah. And there's part of that is like, I love it. I just love that. But I mean, obviously, I think it was hard not to give it completely to Cheryl Blossom for being such a supportive friend who was actually the one sending stuff the whole time. Like, she definitely got the best mwahaha moment out of the whole thing.
Oh my God, I'm so concerned for Josie. That's... God, the betrayal. It's very...
I feel like, it's like, oh, Josie, I hardly knew ye. Like, we don't even know that much about Josie to begin with. It's like Cheryl is more of the character that we followed. So I'm willing to take the ride down this crazy train.
I do like Josie. Josie seems like she's under a lot of pressure. And I do hope we continue to see more of her. She needs to cut loose. And I do think it would be good for her to like date somebody like Chuck or Reggie, who like just want to goof around and be, you know, so serious like she does.
I
Although
don't think
Chuck
it's
is
going to be
a
good for
sexual
them.
predator.
I think Cheryl Blossom's going to kill anybody she dates who's not her.
Jesus Christ! So I don't know. I'm very concerned. But again, I don't know. People are like, is it a romantic or sexual attraction, or is it some weird just possession? I don't know. I don't have any answers. It's so
Well,
like
that's
nothing.
I'm telling you. That's why I think it's like Cheryl's borderline, because the attachment that people get in borderline personality disorder isn't really romantic. It's just like it's this weird need to be the most important person in their life. And it's like that's really what Cheryl seems to be doing right now. Is like, oh, you need my support, you need my music industry contacts. Why do the Blossom know people who like have recording? Like this was the whole pitch to
I was gonna ask
Archie.
that.
It's so like what? How?
I was gonna ask that. What is the maple syrup music industry connection? I don't know.
It's like Maple Syrup Studios. It makes no sense.
I did not say yet whether I thought it was a Veronica or Betty episode. I'm gonna give it to
Robin Givens.
Veronica countering Betty's sleuthing with her own sleuthing. You can sleuth, but you can't boss me in my sleuthing. And I have my own theories. You're not the only one around here with theories. I like that she sort of one lady's detective agency, and she's like, "Well, I'm going to start my own detective agency. You don't get to tell me." She's the one who made it a detective off, and who made weird objectifying comments to her friend's father. That's bold as fuck. And I'm giving her the episode.
She was right. She was right about the affair at the end of the day. But
this is the first. Yeah, this is the first time that we've had different picks, I think.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Well, it might happen in the future.
All right. So that is the episode this week. I look forward to next week and Naked Josie and Cheryl weirdness, whatever that may bring. Do you have anything to recommend this week or any tidbits you'd like to discuss?
Oh, well, I did start watching Runaways on Hulu. I don't know.
What are your thoughts? I did dip my toe in. I didn't really get to sit with it very long. Okay. But go ahead.
So wait, so there's 4 of them up now. They changed some things. I'm not crazy about what they changed. I'll say that. I think that it drags a lot in the first 2, but I would tell everybody it gets better in the 3rd one, and then the 4th one was pretty good. I'm watching it with David. I told him that some of the characters die and that somebody in particular dies in the first year and it's a big deal. So his pick is Alex because it seems like Alex is the main character, and he was like, he thinks that'll be the good, like, that's the pick. And I mean, I won't tell people. I guess there's people who probably listen to us who've never read Runaways too, but like you should go back and read the first story arc. But that was his pick. I think they've done a good job with some of the characters. I think Gert is like basically right off the page.
Yeah.
She's great. I like Carolina. I think she's great too. I don't exactly know what they're doing with the Gaborim or what is the deal with what looks like Carolina's grandfather, who's somehow getting empowered by the sacrifices that they're doing, which you're supposed to go to the Gaborim. I don't know. It's weird because they have that church now that's named after them.
I didn't like the church. I was like, what is this? That's like where they started veering off. Honestly, that's where I paused. I got a little bit after that, but I really only watched like half of the first one. And I got up to the church and they got back to school and I was like, oh, they gotta sit with this church situation for a minute. It's a big change.
Well, Greg Sulkin, who played Noel Kahn's little brother, very briefly on Pretty Little Liars, is Chase. And Chase was my least favorite character in the comics, and I like him in the show. So it's done that. But I will say I loved reading Molly, and I'm not crazy about Molly in the show. She, like most things in the show, got better with time, but she just is not. It's almost like they're writing her younger than she actually is. And this whole thing with like how she got adopted by Gert's family is bizarre. And I don't know.
And what's the point of that? Like, why can't she just have her own parents? And
the second episode reveal is like this first episode from the parents' perspective when you find out more, but like they're creating problems for themselves with the narrative because like they're establishing Gert's parents aren't that evil. The whole premise of the show was supposed to be that the kids had evil parents. So
that's why they had to run away.
And I will say it's called Runaways, and none of the kids have run away yet. Still, so
wow.
I think that happens in the first issue.
Yes, it does. It does. Yeah. It happens pretty quick. That's the whole thing. That's why it's called Runaway. Well, I guess I'm gonna keep on.
The TV show, it's like they find their parents murdered somebody, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna figure out if this is what happened." It doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, they should run away, and then the stuff that happened in the comic book should happen. Yeah, I don't know. And they aged Molly, right? Like, so she's older in the show than she is in the comics, but you're saying that she's still like retaining the qualities of the younger Molly from the comics, so it just looks like a dumb older person. I don't like that. Why not just leave her young, especially if she's going to be adopted? Like, it just choices get made.
She has a different last name. She's not allowed to be a mutant because Fox still owns all the mutant stuff, so they haven't gone into how she's gotten her powers either. You know, there was stuff where like Molly and Carolina didn't see the girl get sacrificed in the comic, but everybody was downstairs this time. It's like they're taking liberties, I think, with the whole general formula. I mean, if it's not broke, don't break it, but I will say at least they read it. You can tell that these people read the comics and are trying. I'll say that. I mean, I'm worried because I liked it so much reading it that I would have a problem with it when they TV'd it, and they do. The casting is okay. The Molly thing is like, I just don't know why they couldn't have gotten a younger kid as Molly. That seems like stupid. So
I understand what you're saying. I think it's just that, you know, these comics are really good. If you've never read the Runaways comics, like volumes 1, 2, and 3, they are really, really good. They were like early on in my comic book life that I read them. And I've read a lot of other comics since then, and they still remain like my favorite of all time. They're definitely special, and they're really fucking good. So we've waited all these years for this to come out. I don't know. You know, we have a lot of feelings about it, and we've been attached to the story for a long time. And this is kind of like one of the first times that's happened to me. That something like I really loved on the page is like coming to be in a way that I think it could even be good. So I don't know. You know, there's always an adjustment period, but I'm glad that they're doing it. It seems like they have taken care, but just if you never read the comics, go read them now.
I'm enjoying Nico.
See what you think?
I'm enjoying Nico in it. I think
I liked her.
Nico's going to get better. David keeps saying, I want to like her more. And I'm like, you will. That's what I keep saying.
Better.
I think that happens in the comic. You like her.
Yeah, I totally agree. Especially like as you get through the volumes, she gets even more interesting. Like I have to keep going with it. I actually stopped because I was like, I don't know. I got scared and then backed away, but I will watch it. I will watch it more. Do I have anything to recommend? I'm going to recommend Supergirl. I got back on board, man, with the crossover.
Did you watch all the parts of the crossover? Did you watch the whole crossover?
Did you say?
I said, did you watch the whole crossover?
Whole crossover. I never liked the Arrow.
Yeah.
Watched the Supergirl and the Flash, and then I read a recap of some of the rest of it. But I enjoyed the whole. I like DC like weirdo universe on TV. Me that Supergirl is really fun, and I like these characters. And you know, there was Alex Sarah Lance action, which is like a huge deal.
Oh my god, that was
they did it! Yeah, they did it.
The minute I saw them look at each other, I was like, oh, they're gonna do it, and they did. So,
and it's not just that they like hooked up, but it's that like they like, I don't know, they like helped each other and talked about problems, and they like didn't get weird after, and they got to fight Nazis together, and it was just like everything that I want to see. It all happened, and I was very happy and satisfied with that. And then I saw
you probably missed the great moment where Alex was freaking out on the other Earth about Supergirl dying, and then Sarah's like, you're on my team. She says that, and it's like, really, it's a great moment. Like, I like Sarah so much in Legends. Like, she's part of the reason I watch Legends now, and she's great. So it was nice to see them interact.
It really was. It really was, because they are people who have some things in common and some differences, and it's just like, oh, let's see how they would be. And it was a good exploration of like what would happen if they met, and how they might impact each other's journeys in life. And I hope they like get to be friends and hang out and stuff. I really liked it. And I saw I saw some like article online. It was like, oh no, they ruined it. I'm like, oh my God, they did not ruin it. They actually did really good. Like, let's just let them have credit for one moment. They are writing a lot of cool characters. And it was also like when they team up and fight Nazis, it's like it's a diverse bunch of people fighting Nazis. They're women, they're queer, they're Black, they're, there's all different kinds of people who are in this fight together. And that's always nice to see. Troubled times. It's the kind of thing that like back in the olden days, people would read comic books and like Superman would be fighting the Nazis and stuff like that. It's just like, that's what Supergirl does. That's what you know what I mean? That's what these heroes do, and they're still doing it. And the team is updated, and the team is like relevant for today and connected to who I am as a person. And that was just nice. They brought me back into the fold. I had strayed, but I'm back. All right. Anything else, Ryan?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure. I did like this episode. I see that you are not as energized by it as I was, but
I enjoyed watching it. I will say I felt like it was difficult to podcast about it because I did feel like there wasn't as much forward momentum as maybe you thought there was. It like
no, you were right, because everything is short. Yeah.
It like presents more problems than it answers, I feel.
I know. But one is the one that I was really concerned about and interested in. And then I don't know about the mayor and Sheriff Keller fucking. I don't know where that's going to go.
Yeah, me neither.
We've never met their spouses, so it doesn't seem like they're cheating on anybody.
I know. That's true, too. It would be like weird if like one of Betty's parents was having an affair, right? Because it's like we know them.
It would be understandable if it was her mom stepping out on her dad. But I understand what you mean. It would have more weight. All right. That's that. The end. Follow us on Twitter at Pretty Recaps. Tweeting away over there. So come on and join in the fun. And then follow us on, subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you find your podcasts, because we are there and we want you to hear all of our content.
I would like to just thank the person who posted on our Facebook that picture of the cheerleading.
Oh, that's my friend Tess. That was my friend Tess.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, that was great. And it made me smile that day, and it was one of the only things. So thank you.
Well, there you go, Tess. You got a shout out. Thank you so much. Post us stuff, people, and then we'll shout you out on the podcast. All right. I love you all, listeners, and it's been fun. Tell me what you thought about this episode, because I was like lit when it was on, but I understand Ryan's point, so I'd love to hear what other people have to say. All right. Good night.
Good night.